Hello everyone, welcome back to Amy's Bookshelf. We are going to do my July and August haul, and it was a big one. So in July and August, I did a bit of book shopping. I went to a free little library, which I made a video of, and I will link that for you as well if you'd like to check it out. But when I did that, I picked up a few books, not too many, but after I went to the free little library, I went to the thrift store and picked up a bunch. So I'm not doing too great with holding off on buying books. Anyways, so I'm going to show you what I bought. So the first thing that I'm just going to go through the pile personally. So the first thing on the stack is two Mary Robert Reinhardts. So I have The Window with the White Cat and The Album. These are both Mary Robert Reinhardts, and I have read them both. So good on me for reading books I just purchased because I had to buddy read them and I enjoyed buddy reading them. But anyways, two Mary Robert Reinhardts, and I have more in my future because I can't wait. I also picked up Survive the Night by Riley Sagar, and I have not yet read this. I've heard a few mixed reviews, but I'm still eager to try it out. So when I picked up Survive the Night, I picked up a bunch of these classics. So I am going to just go through them quickly with you as you know, they were all really cheap. So I have Gestapo, the story behind the Nazis and Machine of Terror. And this one's by Lucas Saul. Then I also have To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. These were all like $3 for $10. This is why I got them all. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I've read this before, but I would like to try reading it again when I'm brave enough. I also got Classic Tales of Detection and Adventure by Edgar Allan Poe. I have his horror collection, so I'd like to try that one. I have Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne, which I really enjoyed. The Journey to the Center of the Earth, so I'd like to read that one as well. Notes from the Underground and The Double by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And I know that Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky and Space loves him, so it's in her channel title, for goodness sake. But I would like to read that as well. I have The Daughter of Time by Josephine Tey, and I read one of her books before and really enjoyed it. And then I have The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, which I have read and enjoyed, but it was $3 for $10. I also have Sherlock Holmes, which is A Study in Scarlet, and The Sign of Four by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So I have read these before and enjoyed them, but I found them all. So these are the ones I got because they're cheap. This is my problem. This is why I make these videos. So let's get into the other books that I didn't buy at that big binge. Actually, I'm thinking I did pretty well because it's only the free little library and the thrift store after the fact. So not doing too shabby. Anyways, so the free little library that I hit, or the free little library book collection that I got, was Marry Him, The Case for Settling for Mr. Goodenough by Lori Gottlieb. I thought this was an interesting title. So it's a nonfiction, and I might just pick it up. I might just unhaul it. I'll probably give it a try, maybe in nonfiction November, and we'll see what I think. I don't know. I also got Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. I don't own this edition or this copy, this book, shall I say, but I would like to read all of Gaskell's work one day, so it wasn't a bad deal. Then I also got Rest, Play, Grow by Deborah McNamara. I have read this book before, but I have listened to it on audio, so it was good to pick up an actual physical copy and maybe make some notes and stuff in the margins if I can reread it, because it was a really good quality childcare resource I found. I also found Treasure Island in this beautiful leather-bound edition, so that was a win, honestly. And I can't wait to read it. And who knows, maybe this one has a map for... It probably doesn't, anyways, because the end pages are beautiful, though. Like, look at that. If I only had a map. Then I found The Girl Who Was Saturday Night by Heather O'Neill. This one just looks interesting, and it's a mystery thriller, something like that, about someone who goes missing and twins. So sibling dynamic, domestic thriller maybe. I also picked up Out of the Dark by Greg Hurwitz, and I might actually read this for the month of Buzzwordathon, because who knows. But this one is a Orphan X novel, so apparently it's like a spy one. Kind of sounds like Jason Bourne-esque kind of thing. I don't know, but it was intriguing when I picked it up. It's not a great spine though, so I'd probably read it and get rid of it and look for a better copy if I liked it a lot. I also picked up The Life of Pi by Jan Martel. This one I have heard it's kind of boring. It's also beautiful. I don't know, I didn't pay for it, so that's why I grabbed it. But one day I'll try it. I also grabbed Christmas Rescue at Mustang Ridge, an intrigue romance novel by Dolores Fossin. So these books I all got for free essentially because my friend had a bunch of books she wanted to donate, and so we trade them off. But this one is a Christmas romance novel that I will try this December. I have one more book that I picked up during that time, which was The Lighthouse by P.D. James. I really enjoyed her mystery of the Pemberley book, which is Death Comes to Pemberley, but I hated how she interpreted the characters. So I am excited to try one of her mysteries that's not a retelling. But yeah, it sounds really, I don't know. I didn't even read how it sounded, to be honest. It was like, P.D. James sounds fascinating. But I liked her writing style at the very least, even if I didn't like the interpretation. So books that I picked up otherwise, I picked up Charlotte by Helen Moffat off of Amazon. That's the only way you can purchase this one. And I've already read that one. I talked about it in my August wrap up. I picked up Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. I still only read one, but I really enjoyed the fast-paced action of it, so I'm wanting to read this one. I picked up Sherlock Holmes, The Complete Guide to the World's Most Famous Detective by Nigel Cawthorne. I think this is a nonfiction basically about how Sherlock Holmes has been reinvented, or how he's been put into movies and films and TV shows and books and all that. I don't know. It's a brief history of Sherlock Holmes. It sounded interesting. Then I grabbed The Lost Girls of Paris by Pam Jenoff, and this one sounds very interesting. It's a historical fiction, I think World War II, about Paris, obviously. So I don't know much more, and I don't really want to know much more, but I did pick it up because I got it, and it sounds like it's a pretty new release. Unfortunately, I have a cardboard bag, so it's gonna be a little noisy. I also grabbed this one, which is Jacqueline Winspear's In This Grave Hour. This one's a Maisie Dobbs novel, and I've heard great things about Maisie Dobbs. So I would like to read it, and I found it. So I'm like, this is a good quality one. I will probably love her work, so I'll just grab a novel of it since I found it. And a classic that I found, which I hadn't heard of before, was The Boys from Brazil by Ira Levin. So this one, it says, in this classic thriller, Ira Levin imagines Dr. Joseph Mengel's nightmarish plot to restore the Third Reich. So another World War II one, as you can see from the, I can't remember the name right now, but the sign on the front. And it's so alive and hiding in South America 30 years after the Second World War. It's all about creating this Fourth Reich. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to read eventually, but yeah, it's one of those little classics, and I'm excited to own it now. So The Boys from Brazil. I also picked up The Spanish Promise by Karen Swan. I got The Greek Escape from her, and I was totally surprised by it. I really enjoyed that one. So I found this one for cheap and snagged it. I don't know anything about this, but the back on the last one was super, it sounded flick basically, or cheesy, and then it also gave away a lot of the plot, like it didn't happen until halfway through, so I don't want to read the synopsis anyways, but I'm excited to try another one of her books. I also grabbed Elaine Hildebrand's Winter in Paradise. So I have a mixed history with Elaine Hildebrand. I read, what was it? One of the wedding day ones, and the audiobook threw me off. So I want to try another one, but I didn't want to pay full price. So this is a used book. I also got Lost and Found by Brooke Davis. This one just looked so interesting. And the blurb says, a Wizard of Oz-esque journey. There's a lot of warmth, wisdom, and humor here. So I was like, that sounds interesting. But it's, yeah, about a little girl named Millie Bird who's 7 years old and ever hopeful and always wearing red gum boots. So sounds cute. And it's an adult book at the very least, which is not YA, which is my typical way to go. I also found one of these big bind-ups, which I enjoy, and this is the Cowboy's Bride collection. So a bunch of authors here, and it's a pretty big novella collection, and I like discovering authors that way. I have 4 left, and one of them was One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisonovich, and I'm not even going to try saying the last name of this author. I have heard about this book before, but I don't know what it is about, to be honest. I just know it follows this person, and it's a classic that I should probably read one day, so I grabbed it. I also found Nevermore, The Trial of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. So I snagged it. It's not a hardback, but it's a floppy paperback like everyone loves. And I know that this one is about Morgan Crow, who I'm sure everyone in this world knows. But on her 11th birthday, she's like stopped from competing in this competition, or because she has no magic or whatever. Anyways, I'm excited to try it one day. And then I found Pippi Longstockings, which I remember watching a movie of and loving as a kid. So this will be a fun one to read. This is also a translated book because the author is, I want to go with, she's Nordic. I want to go with like, not Danish, but maybe Norwegian. I feel like that's right. Something in that area. Anyways, I really want to read this one day. This is by Astrid Lindgren. So yeah. And then my last book that I picked up, I did pick up Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. I found a couple editions, and this one looked the most comprehensive, and I would like to own a copy since I did read it. So this one is full of notes, and I am excited to own one now, and maybe I'll go back and read some of these stories. So yeah. This is Naomi from a couple of days later. I realized I forgot a whole bag of books that were from my camping vlog. Oops. So I'll show you them now. There are a few more. I found a bunch of plays. So this is 4 plays by Eugene Inosokos. I'm still butchering names. I'm so sorry. I did not prep for this. I just wanted to show you these books. I found Elizabethan Drama edited by Leonard Dean. This is volume 2. This one has plays by Christopher Marlowe, William Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, and John Webster. This has the play The Tragic History of Dr. Faustus Volpone and the Duchess of Malfi. So those are the ones I have in here. The Shakespeare play is King Lear, which I am not planning on reading in that edition. I've already read it. Then I also have this one, which is Ibsen's plays, Hedda Gabler, The Pillars of the Community, and The Wild Duck. So more plays. I picked up Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, which I'm very excited to pick up. Also, I discovered the name of the main character is practically Naomi, so even more exciting. And this one I've heard is low-key horror based in Mexican culture, and I'm very fascinated by this premise. So I'm excited to pick this up probably in October. Then I picked up this one, which is The Negotiator by D. Henderson. And this one is the first book in the O'Malley series. I've read this before, loved the series. It's about 7 children who were they all grew up in a group home. They were all orphans, and they all are going through many emotional things. They all had very high, intense jobs. And this first one is about an FBI negotiator named Kate. So really enjoyable. They're Christian suspense mysteries, and they're kind of more like thrillers in some ways. I also picked up a complete series, which is this one, the Californian series by Lori Wick. They are all individual. I just read a Lori Wick the other day, and now I'm desperate to read more of her work, so I might just pick up these ones and desperate to. So these ones are, let's see, this first one is Whenever Tomorrow Brings, then it's As Time Goes By, Sean Donovan, and Donovan's Daughter. So these ones all follow 3 siblings who come from Hawaii as missionary kids, and then they settle in the mainland, and as time goes by, follows their brother-in-law, or one of their brothers-in-law. So I love this series. And that's the end of this haul, because I had to remember I had a few more books to add to the pile. So yes, now back to the other rest of the video. That was it for my haul. I'm gonna try holding them because that's a lot of books, but I did pick up a lot of books in a couple settings. So there we go. I think 3 big settings of picking up a bunch of books did me in, but I'm sure they'll all be wonderful. Please let me know which of these books I should prioritize and which ones I might not love from my free little library haul, because those ones are the ones I most likely might not enjoy the most. But anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you can always give it a big thumbs up, and if you're new here, you can subscribe, and if you would like to, you can always hit that notification bell that would let you know whenever I post a new video. I will see you next time. Bye for now.